Hello everyone and welcome back to the Battlefield Siege Run here. We have another Pauper video for you today. We are playing more Paper and we are taking White Weenie to FNM. In front of you is a great list, but before we get into it, I just want to say, if you like these videos, please feel free to like and subscribe. And let's get some W's for in chat, not just for wins today, but also for the White Weenie. Why not? It's a beautiful day, so let's come and play some White Weenie. So let's get down to the list. So we're playing a pretty stock list, except I really wanted to try out some inspiring overseers. So that's what you're seeing in front of you. Is we're running some of the Spider-Man cards and also 3 Guardians pledges. No Remos and rallies in this list, but yeah, we're trying out the inspiring overseers because it's a good card to bounce back with the Spider-Man and Core Skyfisher. Outside of that, I like Steadfast Unicorn because it is a pretty good card to have when you want to race some other matchups. And generally at my game store, people like to play aggro, and Steadfast Unicorn's quite nice. I've only ran into burn a couple of times, so cutting one Lunak Veteran for a Unicorn can sometimes be the play. Outside of that, Great Sword of Tear has been performing pretty well for me, so I wanted to give it a crack at the local FNM. And then besides that, the sideboard is pretty straightforward. So we have the 3 Arashan Cleric. The reason that we're playing those over Missionaries is because it is a 1/3. So it gets around lava darts and whatnot. So it's a bit safer to attack into stuff, and you can bounce it back with Spider-Man and then play it again. So Lone Missionary can be blocked a lot easier. We're running the extra Great Sword of Tear in the sideboard, 3 Destroy Evils, as well as you can see, 1 Holy Light. Elves doesn't really get played that much, but I have played against like the Mono Red Rally list that's been kicking around. 4 Dust to Dust, 2 Standard Bearers and 1 Prismatic Strands. Sometimes people like to play that Blue-Red Hot Dogs list, or I've seen Infect before. And one person likes to play Heroic. So I think having some Standard Bearers is a good call in the sideboard. This list is very reminiscent of a Pauper Apocalypse list. It came second in Pauper Apocalypse. You know what I'm trying to say. So the only thing I really changed was the sideboard. I'm pretty sure I essentially just changed like 2 cards out of it. I put in, took out like another Holy Light or something like that and put in, what did I put in? The Great Sword, I think. Yeah, the Great Sword and maybe an extra Standard Bearer, I believe. But link of this deck is in the description, so if you want to check that out, you can. So in front of me, I'm just kind of getting the deck ready. I only have 3 of those Dust to Dust currently, and I have 1 Black Border Dust to Dust, because there's actually a pretty expensive card when you actually look at buying stuff online. My deck is 80% foil as well, so apologies when we're playing these games a little bit later, but you kind of notice that essentially sometimes the light might reflect a little bit too much as opposed to the other week where it didn't reflect that much at all. So I think the only thing I'm really missing foil-wise from my deck is Core Skyfishers, which are about 20 bucks each, and Prismatic Strands and Dust to Dust. I did pick up a Guardians pledge, a playset of them for like $3 online foil, and I've never been lucky since. So there's that. Yeah, so there's my 4 Great Sword of Tear, my 4 Thraben Charms. Just me sorting out my deck. I am using the katanas here. These are just kind of my Pauper sleeves, so I kind of normally like to run like 1 Pauper deck at a time. I could potentially get some more sleeves, but well, these katanas have lasted so long. Don't tell my friend about this, but I genuinely don't like katanas too much because the perfect fits can kind of get stuck with them, and they come out the top a little bit. But generally, these are not double sleeves with this Pauper deck, because I'm like, it's just a bunch of commons, even though some of the commons are actually pretty expensive now because half the deck's foil. But katanas have been so indestructible. I even think I might be taking that when I go to RCs and other qualifiers, is that really, I might not even double sleeve, I might just go to katanas because they've been just indestructible. If the apocalypse happens, not Pauper Apocalypse, but if the apocalypse happens, I think we should just contact, where is it, Ultimate Guard? The Ultimate Guard katanas. Just contact Ultimate Guard and just make a life-size katana, and we just all just hop into it, and then, it doesn't really matter. It's indestructible. All right, so there's I didn't talk much about the deck list building here, but here, I'm just fanning it out anyway. So I have my 1 Scuffed as Clue token here, my bird tokens, all my beautiful, beautiful planes from Onslaught, I think they are, Mercadium. 1 foil Idyllic Range, my foil Guardians Pledge, 3 Prismatic Strands, the Thraben Charms, Greatsword, Battle Screech, Core Skyfishers, and then the playset of Inspectors with the Steadfast, Unicorn, and Veteran. There you go, me just adjusting the camera there. Inspiring overseas, look at all those flies up there, bloody beautiful. Rafine's Informant. There's the sideboarding. Look at that. Let's go. All right, so straight into the matches here. So what we have here is we're playing against Mono Blue Terror. So this is my friend Henry here. Very good player. We played against Henry last time actually, but Henry is likes to show his skill and prowess. So he's actually playing Mono Blue Terror here. I had a pretty good hand straight up, so I just go Land Inspector and play Thraben Inspector. Being on the play, I'm able to just drop a Thraben Charm and they don't have any Spell Pierce mana up. So I have a pretty good setting right here, which is good. Yep, they're using the Thought Scour drawing. So luckily I've milled a Terror into the graveyard. So I can't really remember what was potentially in his hand. You can see there's maybe another Thought Scour there that's likely going to come end step. So here I am attacking with the Inspector again, and then Core Skyfisher, and then returning it and playing it again. I just fast tracked that because essentially they don't run Spell Snare because it's an uncommon, so I don't have to worry about it too much. Yep, there you go. So very lucky with that Thought Scour there as well. Just 2 non-instant sorceries, which is what I like to see. So it's looking pretty good for us right now. We've got a good clock in front of us, and then we got 2 clues cracking as well. We've got all our land drops. Here I'm just cracking the clue and playing another Thraben Inspector. So yeah, I think vaguely I remember I didn't have too much going on straight away here. But reason being is they missed their land drop and now they destroyed the Lorien Revealed to get a land, and they're just fast tracking this as well, so they're doing Mental Note right after the fact anyway. And it's just my cat spectating as well, so they normally have good things to say. Schnaps the cat does. I did fasten up this stuff as well, just so the games go a bit quicker. But yeah, getting in for 3, dropping them to 15. Pretty sure I had a Guardian's Pledge ready to cook as well. Guardian's Pledge is not really great in this matchup because they run stuff like Dispel and Spell Pierce. It's a lot of oomph to not really get a good payoff. So the problem is normally with instants, you really want to just do it on their end step instants and sorceries. So you're playing around these counter spells or getting them to tap out. So then you can on your turn do what you want to do. So it's pretty hard to play a good game with Guardian's Pledge. So they're normally the first cards that I side out. It does help with racing sometimes, but generally because of Terror, it's just a 5/5. I mean, this is pretty scary. 2 Terrors in a row, and they moved a Terror over earlier. Generally with these Terrors, because they're vanilla and we have lots of like random tokens and stuff like that, it's not as scary. So this is the great sort of tier. So they've Slept Dark, Core Skyfisher, so we can't do much. Like that card, that sleep card is so broken. I think it's so good. And the fact you can just keep escaping it, especially once you already have the Tolarian Terrors out, it's just crazy. So I'm obviously telegraphing that I don't have another removal spell, but the great sort of tier is kind of good here. I think what I had is a Prismatic Strands here. Yeah, so I'm dropping a Prismatic Strands, and it didn't really matter if they countered that because I can just flash it back. So they might have something here. Yeah, Dispel. So this is what I mean. Can you imagine if I just Guardians Pledged? Like, it just wouldn't have been good. And it wouldn't have been good on that other turn because they'd have a bunch of 5/5s in play anyway. There you go. So Strands effectively got countered twice, and we took a big old chunk of 10 damage. Now this is actually the crux of the game here. It's that I'm on 10 and they have 2 5/5s out. So I played an Inspiring Overseer, and we were talking about this after the fact anyway, but I played this and gained 1 life, and then suddenly now I'm on a 2-turn clock. I was thinking about what to put this the Greatsword on. I decided to actually do it on the Novice Inspector just to move around my threats, because if they slept the Core Skyfisher, it's probably the likely thing they're going to do, then at least I still have like a decent threat out. So now suddenly I have lots more on the board. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I almost have lethal here. The Greatsword's pretty good at delivering that as well. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then the extra 9 counter. So now I got this Strands gone. I definitely still feel that this board state's pretty good. They can't really attack me. I'm quite happy to block with the Novice Inspector anyway, and we have a couple turns to get out of this. And because Henry's been stuck on mana as well, Henry's making the conscious effort of either do I interact with my board, or do I try and get some more threats in play, or do I want to draw more cards to try and get to a land? So it's a pretty tough spot because we got a lot of pressure on the board because they want to stop, and Henry wants to stop themselves from being unalived as well here. So there you go, we've got the land, and they can flash back the escape if they want to, and deciding to bounce the Overseer. And I choose to put it on the bottom because I'm thinking, well, what do I want here? I probably do want the Guardian's Pledge here, or the best card in my deck's probably a Battle Screech because it's just infinite blockers and flyers, or a Prismatic Strand. So the Overseer goes on the bottom because I feel like I have lots of other better draws. And because they only have one land left and they've already used Dispel, their interaction for counter spells could be a Spell Pierce. I think, I can't remember if no, I don't have a Plains in my hand. Attacking with one. So yeah, I take this and we'll see what they do. It's close. It was such a clutch game, this one. And I feel like sometimes it really does decide on whoever's on the play, because it's just like, you know, if Henry drops the terrors earlier, it's just like, how do you win, you know? Yeah, sleeping the Novice Inspector. So this is what I was saying of spreading the threats across, so not just from the core Skyfisher. So I'm just using the 6-sided dice just to say, all right, this is slept. And then I take the dice off in a minute. So there's that. I'm moving the dice, over to that one. And then we'll attack with everything. Yeah, and then a Guardian's Pledge for Xaxes. I'm pretty sure it was Xaxes. So, I was very lucky that Henry used that last sleep, and it wasn't something like a Spell Pierce or something like that. So essentially, tapped down the right creature, and I was dealing 11 there. So it was a clutch Guardian's Pledge, but really, it's like I said, it's the first thing that I side out of the game because it's not very good with all the counter spells and stuff like that, and it's very proactive. But it's sometimes better you just take that out and bring in like your revokes, and not your revokes, your destroy evils and stuff like that. So this hand, they're leading with a Delve, which is pretty good. I think I had a Thraben Charm maybe in this hand as well. But you can see what it means. See what you mean. See what I mean, where essentially being on the play matters so much more now because they have counterspell mana up. So I decided to just pass, not getting the Raw Dog Delver, which is a bit sad for Henry. Well, it's great for me because nothing feels worse than being raw dogged by Delvers, and then they play another Delver and they raw dog that off the top, and then they're getting all the stuff that they want. But I feel like Terra is a pretty hard deck to play, and Henry's been mopping up at the store lately as per Magic the Gathering reports. So Henry's trying out this new deck today. So yeah, I took this time because I was like, if you Spell Pierced the Thraben Charm, then at least maybe we'll be able to get like something like a Greatsword out, because I feel like the Greatsword has been quite good, and it also allows me to grow my Thraben Inspector to potentially get bigger than this Delver Secrets. It's his Thought Scour. So that was a huge one for me. So Henry lost 2 Cryptic Serpents off the top, which means they're not in play, and also means that the cost reduction is not there either. Okay, so that was a bit better of a rip for Henry there. So then they got 5, so they can draw. So if they have a Cryptic Serpent, they can play it. This is what I mean here, is that this Inspector can still get in, and then hopefully we can just draw something to handle some of these creatures. Yeah, sleeping that makes sense. And then playing a Tolarian Terror. Crazy card, that Terror. Yep, so playing Steadfast, and I'm just charming that because there's not a snowflake's chance in hell I'm going to get another creature in play, and also get another land out, and then wait another whole turn after that, and then Thraben Charm, pay the ward, and then just get counterspelled or something like that, or like a creature bounce, and then it doesn't do as much. So I just took the opportunity while I had it there, and I feel essentially as long as Henry only has 1 Tolarian Terror currently, and they've milled over a couple, is that my clock can be slightly better because of the Greatsword tier. You know, they're dealing 5, then in our turn we're dealing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then next one we're dealing 5. So it forces them to also attack with it. So this is the problem child here now as well, playing a Serpent and then getting in for 5. That makes sense. And they're on the takedown for me essentially here, where they're okay. I played the Fiend's Informant. I was wondering if I maybe getting a Battle Screech or something like that. That's just such an OP card for me. But I think now I'm thinking, okay, we still need to get the pressure on. I'm essentially thinking whether I'm going to be blocking with this Steadfast Unicorn or not. And yeah, I'm like, yes, no. And I'm like, that definitely taps down. I'm definitely attacking with that. But I think the Steadfast Unicorn is going to go in front of the bus here. Very sad for the Steadfast Unicorn. And I'll keep the Fiend's Informant out for a rainy day as well. It's pretty crazy because I'm only got a couple cards left in hand and only three lands out. So that's the power of War 2 on a common. Is just, here's my 1 mana 5/5, and also it's really hard to remove because if I have interaction, then it's pretty done. So that's my cat just purring to the mic. There we go. There's the Thought Scour. So it's what you want to mill over as well, just a deep analysis. But if you're racing, it's not as good. Yeah, having a bit of a think about what to play here, because it is a pretty hard spot here. They have access to like the sleep, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's like, I was thinking that's why I kept the 2 blockers, because essentially I felt like I needed to somehow get in here. But yeah, I'm thinking this Unicorn's not doing the job anymore, so I'll just block the Serpent and take 5. But it's looking pretty grim for me. So that's on sleep, and then I'm stuck with this one Novice Inspector to try and get the job done, which is pretty hard to do. So I do have a Destroy, and then, yeah, I think I do attack. Yeah. Great Sword's good. It's a great sword. It's not a good sword, it's a great sword. Yep, drop us to 1. And then like, yeah, if it's Null Terror, I was like, maybe if they don't play Null Terror and they're sleeping that, and like, okay, so I need double blockers and they're both going in the bin, I'm pretty screwed here. I basically need like Land Battle Screech, which I did not get. So that's on that. Me thinking hard here. Hard thinking, yeah. I had another Destroy, but again, I didn't have another land. So, and they could also just sleep other. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Henry can just sleep my other creature on their turn, and then I'm done. So here he's just cut straight to the 3rd game. So Lunark Veteran, again, having 1 Lunark Veteran is good. So I normally cut like 1 or 2 of these in sideboarding as well. Is essentially, you only really want it for the terror hands, where you can get a couple live, and sometimes you can just get an extra turn because of the Veteran. And it also blocks, and you can bring it back as another blocker. So it can be pretty good sometimes, but it's definitely the weakest card out of it all. So you still want to run all the Inspectors, and the Steadfast Unicorn can be good for a random race or when you glug up the board because they don't have any Wrath effects. So it's just kind of the weakest 1 drop, and you still want to run all the 2 drops because the Core Skyfish is good with blocking Delver. And then you also have the Fiend's Informant, which is important for the flashback and the virtual card advantage that we're getting. So because I'm on the play here and they use Ponder, I just had some good plays, I think, but really getting out the Great Sword is pretty ideal here because we can soup it up to this Lunark Veteran straight off and get some damage in. Yeah, so that's a Thraben Inspector. Look at all the foily boys, and then I'm just not equipping yet. Playing Core Skyfisher. Yeah, they get the Eats a Counterspell, which makes sense. And then passing. So when I know right with the mana, then I'm definitely going to be putting the Greatsword on the Lunark Veteran, because it's again like the weakest card, but that's the card that I don't really care if they bounce back. I'll put it on the bottom. Anyway, yeah, I equip and I attack. It's just so good. And then I'll play Fiend's Informant, see if this resolves. So again, this is why it's great on the play, is that if Henry was on the play themselves, they probably would have been Thought Scouring like an extra turn before, and then they could have a counterspell for this and could have gone closer to Tolarian. So yeah, here's a Brainstorm. And I discarded a Thraben Charm. I think I had a couple in my hand, but what I'm thinking is essentially if they do a Tolarian Terror hand, then it's not very good because I need to get another Plains, and I think I was a Plains short as well again. So this clock is pretty good though. They're on 15, and I obviously do have another Thraben Charm in, so if they do have a Serpent or a Delver, then I can handle it pretty forthwith. But even if they play a Serpent, I can use this Greatsword, just pay 2 mana and tap it down, which I think would be good. So we've got untaps, draws. It looks like they drew another Loring Revealed. Yeah. There we go, sleeping that one. Because now I've put Henry in that awkward position where I have stuff on the board and Henry hasn't been able to get the terrors out. Is that you kind of stuck into, okay, well, if that's the case, yeah, Spell Pierce, so good against Battle Screech. If that's the case, then I'm being reactive, but I'm still chipping away with a little bit of damage with this Greatsword and this Raven Inspector versus me having a Tolarian Terror out. So he needs to find it soon, otherwise, yeah, these little creatures are going to take over the game. But definitely has plenty of instances and sorceries in the bin now. And now that sleeps three mana, so probably a good draw from them would be essentially, I guess playing Terror and sleeping a creature. Now that they're on 11. Yep, and then just choosing to bounce Lunarch Veteran. I was thinking here that I had something else. I had the Battle Screech and I wanted to be able to flash it back. So I was trying to big brain if I want it top or bottom. And I had an Aspiring Overseer in my hand. So I was like, well, I'll draw a card. I don't know what that is. But then I draw into the Lunarch Veteran with the Inspiring Overseer. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have an Overseer. I had that. So I think I had a 1-drop. So now I can play the 1-drops and then essentially flash back the the Battle Screech. It's going to be better just doing that versus just playing anything else. And it's good to try and resolve that now as well. I guess an opposite thing I could do was just put the sword into the Inspector and then get in. But I think taking a turn off and doing this just sets me up a little bit better, because now if they play a Terror, I can tap it down, and I've used my mana to put it on the Lunarch Veteran anyway. Yeah. Last card in hand. So yeah, Serpent, and Sleep. Yeah. And here anyway, I'm just going to essentially just move over the equipment, and then I'll be able to get him for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, but I drew a charm anyway, and then I'll equip. So really had it all here anyway. Yeah, I think I put it on a bird. I was just like, yeah, whatever. It's good if they have a flip Delver or something like that and just attack with everything. So yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm 4. So with multiple threats in play now. So yeah, Harry needs a fair bit, but I think it was like a tank, and then a concede. So yeah, I was just very lucky in this third game here, just keeping the pressure, and then it just kind of got me there over time, which is good. And there's the shake. All right, next round. So I'm actually playing against Blue-Red Hot Dogs here, or the Blue-Red Kiln Fiend deck, which is very good. I just play... this game one's pretty funny, actually, because I'll probably say that White Weenie is favoured because of the card Prismatic Strands, because they have to kind of go hard and essentially present lethal, but then we just Strands and name red, and then that's that. And then normally we can just overwhelm because we get a bunch of Time Walks in the deck. But anyway, my opponent goes straight into a Kiln, the other, it's the, I'm trying to remember what that one's called, the Charger, and it does +2/+0 instead of +3/+0. But anyway, I was doing the maths and I'm just like, look, I'm going to play this, I'm going to pick up a land, and then, because I wanted to gain the life, which I'll probably remember in a second, there I go. And I'm like, the only way they can actually get me this turn is if they go like 2 or 3 mutagenic growths and then a Team of Battle Rage and maybe another land. So anyway, the opponent attacks, I go no blocks because I want to just develop my board state, And then they look up at me and they go, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Well, I've said it now, so yeah." And like, okay, mutagenic growth +4. Yeah, and I'm just not beating that. I'm just not beating that at all. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm like, yeah, it's just done there. All right. So in sideboarding, I brought in the actual prismatic strands. I think I brought in the greatsword as well, potentially just to make some of my other creatures a bit stronger. And then me talking about Rafine's Informant, about conniving, and then I discard a Battle Screech. And it's the opponent's turn. So I'm pretty sure I just kept a hand with prismatic strands in it, I'm pretty sure. And then some removal. It's sad because you can't really bring in Destroy Evil because that's toughness 4 or greater, and obviously all their creatures are like toughness 3. So a bit of a shame that is not a great sideboard card. Oh, I also brought in the Standard Bearers. So I think I actually took out the Guardian's Pledges, and what else did I take out? Something else. Maybe it was some Battle Screeches or something like that, because really I just need to over on the board with other stuff anyway, and tapping out for full 4 can be a bit rough. So yeah, I brought in the Standard Bearers and the Prismatic Strands. So here, because I got the Rafine's Informant anyway, but yeah, I played the Inspiring Overseer. I'm like, I'm not going to attack. I have these blockers. It's unlikely that my opponent can win the game here, because essentially they would need to have a mutagenic growth hand, a very big mutagenic growth hand with the Timber Battle Rage. So I was like, okay, surely not. We can just play a nice fair game this time around, and that's what they're thinking. They're attacking. I'm like, I'm going to block straight up, and then they go. I think a mutagenic growth. I think just to trade the mutagenic growth for their Rafine's Informant, and they were like, "Oh, do they trade?" I'm like, "Oh no, don't." And this is me miscuing what they said, but yeah, currently I'll just eat the Crasher, and then my person would survive. So yeah, mutagenic growth makes sense. Just trading that, get the blockers down. One card I wasn't thinking about when I was playing against them is Apostle's Blessing, which they can name white cards for. So my whole deck is white cards, as you probably guessed. So it's a bit concerning in that regard. So anyway, here I'm like, all right, at least I got another blocker for a creature. I'll play a Novice Inspector. I'm less worried now because their critical mass is gone and they've played another creature now. Yeah, so this is where I messed up as well. I should have played the Thraben Charm first. I think what I was playing around was a mutagenic growth instead, so that's why I played the creature, but I wasn't playing around Spell Pierce. So I was like, okay, that's all right. I'll just play my other creature and then just pray. The good thing about doing the Thraben Charm and then Spell Piercing is meaning they have one less spell to essentially stop, one less spell to buff their creatures. So it makes their clock slightly slower as well if they're being more interactive, which is what their deck's doing right here. So we've taken out their mutagenic growth and some interaction. And honestly, I'm probably just going to be... I think they just go like creature pass here, I think. Yeah. Anyway, if they did do blocks, I'd probably just double block the Kiln Fiend with the Thraben Inspector, with the Inspectors, and then I'll just block the Charger with the Inspiring Overseer. But anyway, they go just play a tap land and go, which is good. It means more lands in play, means less crazy creatures. So here's another Inspector, so I'm just going full crazy. Yeah, there they all are. And I'm tapping it out and then playing this. This is also probably... maybe I shouldn't have done it, and also maybe I should have just didn't do it with the Overseer or something like that. And then this is me going a little bit crazy. I'm like, you know what? I'm on 22. You know, you don't have that many cards left in your hand. I can block everything. You can only give one thing trample. So I'm like, I feel a little bit better now. So I decided to attack and try and get this clock going, because they can essentially just get more stuff in play. And then currently I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can almost get a 2-turn clock here. So here I just do that. I don't want to go too crazy. At least we can try and get rid of this one Overseer. And also I'm trading, the Overseer's already replaced itself. And then the birds is half a card that I got from the Rafine's Informant. So even though it feels like it's a terrible blocks here, I'm getting a card out of their hand, which means they also can't push through past everything. So, yep. I take, it's a +3, so it goes to 4, and then this one goes away, and these birds go away. Then I take a bunch of damage. Anyway, I think here now I have the strands in my hand potentially, but I'm just going to go Screech. I can't fully remember. We have lots of clue tokens as well. So I'm also thinking if we get into some late game, yeah, I think I have the strands now. I think I just put it in my bin so I can just start tagging with everything safely. Yeah. Yep, this is me telling them about the prismatic strands because it's a very busted card against them. And then from memory, I'm like, well, now I can just keep up these 2 lands and then, yeah, attack with all that. Because I want to keep some of these blockers back to block their creatures if I want to. But now, because I know that they run mainly Spell Pierce, is that I can block the stuff and then do Prismatic Strands and then still have the 2 mana up to pay for the Spell Pierce if need be. Or I can crack a Clue at the end of the turn. So it's really a win-win for me. I'm just losing not playing that Battle Screech straight up. And I think now that I have this clock, I don't need to put really anything else on the board. Really just drawing more Prismatic Strands is going to be pretty good. And yeah, drawing an extra card every turn is pretty busted as well. So they just pass here. I draw a card, untap, draw for turn. And yeah, it feels good to play a bunch of foily boys here. And yeah, getting in with the clowns here. So my cat's just still purring a little bit. Just wants to hang out. Move this over here. All right. So I play Call Skyfisher and then just played as essentially pay for 1 mana 2/3. And then I can still do exactly what I did that previous turn. So I got Lifelink, I got 2 more blockers in play, and then I can still do Strands plus pay for Spell Pierce or just do a Clue token. So, and now they're on 5. They're basically dead on board here, especially with the flyers. It's exactly, well, it's not exactly 5, it's 6 damage. So yeah, they're reading how busted the card is and how good it is against red decks. So he's thinking, yeah. And that's the thing with the Apostle's Blessing as well. If you get them low enough, then they can't actually do anything. All right, so here they're showing with the Apostle's Blessings doing the Kiln Fiend and making that essentially unblockable. Oh yeah, so this is why I didn't obviously block that Kiln Fiend. And then we go to blocks. So they can essentially still you do 1 more Phyrexian mana. So I just go, well, I'll just triple block the Kiln Fiend and block here. So they will unalive themselves. And then yeah, I still have this Prismatic Strands as well. So they were thinking I'll take 2 and play them in Genetic Growth. And then I'll just go, okay, well, even though it's not lethal, I'm still going to, and probably if I was playing like a big tournament, I'll probably just let this happen anyway because it just uses up all that stuff. But I guess it does keep some of my creatures alive as well. So anyway, Prismatic Strands, and they go, okay, yeah, I just have a land now anyway. So sideboarding, again, still just like Standard Bearers. Again, the Destroy Evils aren't that good. But I think with that and Prismatic Strands, the full play set, I basically, if I draw Prismatic Strands, it makes it very difficult for them to win. They need counter spells. And my opponent was quite unfortunate here and actually mulliganed to 4. So essentially they didn't have a creature in their hand. So they just got lands and then hopefully just trying to find a creature. I kept a 6, I'm pretty sure. So it was pretty good. I think it was just lands and spells. I think I had a Prismatic Strand as well. So yeah, Lunar Veteran go and then go land. And I'm pretty sure they just go here as well. I attack for 1. Got to get little chips in and I just play the Idyllic Range. Yeah, so I remember I had 2 lands from memory. And I'm pretty sure they actually do go land and play a Cyclops here, which is actually pretty good. My thought process though was, oh no, they're playing Manamorphose. I think they go Manamorphose and draw a Nivix Cyclops, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. There's an Nivix Cyclops. So I'm like, oh, this is a 1/4. It's obviously very good. It brick walls all my stuff. I drew a plane, so I'm like, I'll play the planes and then I'll play my creature first. I'm trying to learn from my mistakes here because I'll Thraben Charm. Originally, I wasn't going to do that straight away, but I realized they run Mutagenic Growth. So I did check that card. It's +3/+0, so it's a 1/4. It took 6 damage. That Mutagenic Growth is just now sitting in their hand. I think after this, they didn't draw another creature, so I think it was just the 1 power beats that got me through, to be honest. Which is lucky me. Yep, just drawing a clue. But now anyway, I think I drew my other Thraben Charm, I believe, from here. It was now that if they played another creature, then at least I could handle that creature as well. So it was, yeah, a good board state for me. They're on 14, they're just taking damage through and through. And once I get a bit more power in play, then it's suddenly a 2-turn clock. And also I'm getting a buffer from this Lunarch Veteran as well, which is pretty good. So land Ghost, so still no creature. So no creature also means that's essentially 2 turns of not losing straight away. So that's Raw Fiend's Informant. Sorry about the foiling. It's reflecting the eyes. And yeah, there's the Prismatic Strands. I put a counter on it, and now suddenly we're on 2-turn clock with the Strands in play, and you have no creatures. So again, a very unfortunate mulligan from Mulligans, but it's just part of the game. Sometimes they happen. And I just get in, crack in, and then next turn we have lethal here. So I decided to play another one because get the untapped land, and yeah, I had a standard bearer. So I was just thinking I'd rather just keep up the clue token and the strands, but I did have another bearer in my hand. So that's all that she wrote for this one. So let's go into the third and final round. I'm playing against my friend Brad again. Which happened last time, and he's playing his damn mono black deck as well. So I mulliganed to 6 something in this one, and this matchup's a bit, because I played Borosynth last time. I think I only won a couple games with Borosynth, but this time round, how I win this game, that's Inspector by the way, how I win this game is I just have to go hard and fast, try and dodge a Crypt Rats, or I want to essentially Thraben Charm and Crypt Rats, and then get in there with a giant Glorious Anthem, Guardian's Pledge style dealio. And then also I have past trauma from an Exhume here, so I'm like, do I want to cut your deck to something like that? Anyway, so a good start for Brad here. So there's the Exhume, and I'm just playing another 1-drop. There's a Thraben Inspector, and then passing back to Brad. I think he plays a Chittering Rats. Chittering Rats is so good. It's just like, make your mulligan, and you just draw your card again. Yeah, I think I play Inspiring Overseer here. So again, I'll have to draw a card. So very slow start for me, and they've definitely done a good job of disrupting me. But yeah, once they kind of get to a Crypt Rats, then we're pretty done here. So yeah, Paducah Bog, getting rid of the Thraben Inspector. And then, yes, just having all those cards. So yeah, I'm just like, okay, look, I'm just going to go Battle Screech, and I'm going to flash it back and then get him for 2, really. I'm doing it all here, pre-combat, because they can defile and just destroy all my creatures. So yeah, there's the insights, just getting rid of the Tithing Blade, drawing a card. And yeah, essentially just going like land Crypt Rats is very grim for me here. Which I think is on the horizon from memory. But yeah, they can put the troll back, and then I think I had a Guardian's Pledge in my hand, so I'm like, oh, I'm feeling not too bad here, not too bad. But yeah, there's the Crypt Rats, and then it's obviously correct to just do it now, so I lose all my creatures. So it's important to recognize here that really I just lost the Battle Screech here. All my other cards draw stuff, but the later this game goes, the better it is for Brad here. So I didn't really have much else. He has the Troll, and then basically, like I said with the Crypt Rats, if he plays the Crypt Rats again, I'm basically going to lose this game. So. And I need to add on to the board as well. So he's Brad getting a bloody another cottage again, and targeting the Crypt Rats, because that's just locking me out of the game. And it's he's deciding that one. And I said, well, I have targets in response. So yeah, I was just like, I'll Thraben Charm, just exile your graveyard so you can't do any of those shenanigans again. And then they just have all this extra mana. So I'm like, here's the Chittering Rats, and I just put this Battle Screech on top, untap, draw the Battle Screech, crack the clue, and then yeah, I think I have Plains Battle Screech. Yeah, that's what I have. So that's what I do. Play a little Battle Screech, Screechy boy. And then yeah, my out is essentially, I think I have a Guardian's Pledge in my hand. I need to draw just something to get there, really. My out was play a creature, draw, and then yeah, I'm flashing back to Battle Screech here. It's essentially, what am I thinking here? Yeah, this is where I was thinking what my out was, because Brad's just getting way too far ahead, and he's gained a bunch of life from this Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Is that the way I win this game is double Guardian's Pledge. So double Guardian's Pledge doing +4/+4. So it'll be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's exactly 26. So I go, well, I just hope you don't have a removal spell. And I go, well, Guardian's Pledge you, and they'll Guardian's Pledge you again. And it's like, well, I do have the removal spell, get wrecked. But that was essentially my out anyway. And he goes, oh, this is the stack right now, just defiling in response. And he said, well, I'll defile that one. Yeah, and then there you go. It's slightly out. So it was, I think, only 22 damage. No, 20 damage there. So this is the resilience of mono white there, because if you didn't have the removal spell, which I know is very unlikely, but if you didn't have the removal spell, a lot of people feel pretty comfortable on 26 life. So the fact that I was able to present lethal after a crit wraps was pretty good. Anyway, here, this is game 2. So this was a mull to 4. So I think Brad says cards in hand. I'm like, dude, I've played land, I draw a card land, and then draw a card land, and I played Core Skyfisher, and I got 2 cards in my hand. Yeah, you could see that I lost the game with a full grip essentially. So this is pretty grim for us here. So this is where the hero peters out, or if you think Brad's the hero, well then there you go. You can think Brad's the hero. Luckily, I think Brad, when we play next, is not going to be playing mono black control. They're going to be playing familiars, so that's always a cool deck to play against. And probably, arguably, I don't really want to play against familiars anywhere with white weenie. But they play Campfire, and this kind of solidifies it, because that makes it's essentially a removal spell for my Core Skyfisher anyway, is that they're gaining 2 life, and they're like, well, now you've just removed it, is that you're gaining 2 life a turn, and I need to play stuff to get there. So even now, they're like, well, I can attack my Chittering Rats. You're going to be attacking for 2, but the Campfire just nullifies that. So I feel pretty out of this game. The draw engines are going for Brad, and I got 1 card left in hand. So 2 cards left in hand, sorry. So I'm just really playing it out just for the heck of it, for the memes, you know? So I think probably based on what this deck was like, I liked Inspiring Overseer. It really helped the Terror matchup at the beginning. I think I like the sideboarding as well. I think probably because I'm playing against my friend Brad all the time, if he was playing mono black next time, I'd probably play not the Crimson Acolyte, there's the black one. Sorry, it is the white creature, but it has pro black, and you do the pay 1 white, and then a creature control gets pro black. I would probably put 2 or 3 of those in my sideboard, to be honest, because people like to play blue black control at my LGS, and also Brad's there, and has Dream Crushed me twice now for the finals win. So at the end of this FNM, I still came second because I had good countback. But yeah, mono white definitely got absolutely dumpstered by mono black. I'm kind of liking the Choco Mog list and the Squadron Hawk list again, and I might run that back because it's also the Squadron Hawk's good with the Great Sword of Tier, just making your 1/1 flyers good again. But probably what I'm looking at next time is I want to play a different deck and not a white deck at FNM, which is pretty sacrilege to be honest. I think I'll probably do mono black sack, but I have to collect some of the cards. If you have any thoughts and ideas on the mono white deck or any iterations, please feel free to let me know. I think I played most of them now, and Inspiring Overseer was kind of like the last thing that I didn't really play. So I played Acacian Javelineers online a fair bit, the Spider-Man variants. This list is running 2 Spider-Man, but I think it didn't really come too good in this matchup or the previous matchups, which is just, it is what it is really. Snaps has come back as well to say goodbye at the end of the video as well. If you have any decks that you want me to actually play in FNM anyway, I'm quite happy to give that a crack. But yeah, you see the writing on the wall here. I'm just like, I'll throw open charm that, but I just have like 1 symbol creature, 3 lands, and a Core Skyfisher, and a can-do attitude, which is pretty crucial. So yes, I hope you enjoyed these videos, and if you did enjoy them so much, then please feel free to like and subscribe. I do like doing this. It just, again, it takes a little bit more time to do these videos, but I think they're pretty fun to do, and you get to do a bit of the gathering as well, which is always great when you're playing Magic and playing some really cool decks. Sometimes you don't see that online, but you know, how often do you get to play against the Chittering Rats? Well, obviously I get to play against it all the time, but you know, how often do you get to see someone playing a Chittering Rats and playing Grey Merchant of Asphodel? So it's good to see what's out there. And you know, last time I went, someone's playing like a Naya Landfall deck, so you get that real mix of like the tier 1 stuff you see online versus some really cool brews that Pauper can do. such as the landfall deck and whatnot. I don't know why I'm putting yourself through this punishment right now. Please feel free to turn off if you would like, but I'm pretty wrecked here. Somehow I still have stuff in play, but I'm on 8 here, and I'm just like, this troll's just getting me. Somehow I got Brad on 10 here, somehow, but they do have all these campfires in play now. So, you know, there is another guy at the LGS that keeps letting Brad borrow this card. There's a really badly timed Prismatic Strand, which I was actually thinking probably it's good against Cryptic Rats, yes, but also at the end of the day, it's probably not as well, because it really only... What does it do? It prevents it, but then the Cryptic Rat doesn't die, and then if they survive to the following turn, then they just keep it going. So anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, and hopefully we can do another FNM like this. This is me talking about how good Greatsword was, and I think Brad agreed, because, you know, big throbbing brain and whatnot. Anyway, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.